power is where you can find, the future. I think for me, I've had so many encounters at times where I felt down and out, and those were the moments that I found what I needed to come out and to be something or do something very special. So my advice would be really and truly, don't see every bad situation as that. See it as an opportunity to find what you're looking for and come out of it. And maybe a simple example, maybe Australia, losing to India. I think they also lost to New Zealand, not sure, maybe South Africa. And then pretty much up against the ropes against Afghanistan. I mean, they were down and out against Afghanistan. If you look at that dressing room, they were down and out. And they were able to find something at that point in time that turned the entire World Cup around and into taking home the trophy. So for me, don't see the darkest moment as your darkest moment. See it as something else.
All right. Now coming to modern day cricket and talking about everything that's going on so far. We're talking about all-time greats. We're talking about people who are breaking records and who can. So Virat Kohli just broke Sachin Tendulkar's record with his 50th century in ODIs. There's a lot of talk about him as being an all-time great. Now, all-time greats in the history of cricket, where do you place him?
And he's already there. I mean, he's already in his mid-30s and have a few more years. I think a guy like Virat Kohli can easily dictate, when he wants to leave the game, which discipline of the game that he wants to play. Virat Kohli, for me, is one of the legends of the game already. And I believe that, sometimes we look at stats and people look at, 501 and 400 and they say, well, he has to be one of the greats. So you look at Virat Kohli and the amount of runs that he scores and say, well, yes, he is a great. For me, what Virat Kohli has greatness in is what he has given us, which is every youngster that's looking at the game now and looking at the way how Virat Kohli prepares himself for a cricket game is totally different than anything that we are accustomed to. His discipline, his preparation, the hard work that he puts in, I think is setting standards for the youngsters in the future. And to me, that is his greatness. I mean, not the amount of runs he scored, if he breaks Sachin's record or not, or he goes on to break my records, that's fine. I think he left an indelible mark on the game of what a cricketer should look like and how he should prepare himself for success in the future. And you can go back 40, 50 years ago, we had guys, unfit, playing the game. I think that has totally changed if you look at the sportsmen today.
It indeed hasn't. Not just the conditions you're talking about, but other than that, the formats and the number of leagues that are happening, the amount of cricket that is being played. In scenarios like that, what do you see as the future of ODI cricket?
Well, after such an amazing World Cup, I was one that felt that, maybe the 50 over game has to make a way because, as you said, franchise cricket, there's so much cricket being played. Where are we going to find time for teams to play? And I felt that this World Cup showed the importance of having the 50 over version of the game. When you get to a cricket match, you can see an innings evolve. You can see a Virat Kohli, you can see a Warner. People go out there and bat and put on something very special in the 6 or 7 hours that you spend at the cricket ground. You have to agree, yes, T20 is entertaining, but really and truly, it's a game where it's a hit and miss. Guys have to go out, they have to play a certain way. I feel the art of the game is a little bit lost. It is necessary. I love the game, but I just feel that we have to hold on to, what we had before, the 50 overs and Test cricket.
Right. Well, I know I've taken my share of time, and I've been told that there are a few questions to be taken from the audience. But before I let that happen, I have to ask you, you've lived a dream of a life. Is there a dream of yours that is still unfulfilled?
Yeah, to have a golf swing like Tiger Woods. But no, I think the dream that really and truly I wish for today is to see West Indies cricket back on top. How is that going to happen? I'm not 100% sure with, 5 million people, different governments, a lot of turmoil back in the Caribbean. I suppose the revenue to grow the game isn't 100% there like it is in India. But I would love to see the West Indies, at least regain some sort of respect in world cricket. And we do have the talent. I just believe that we need to harness that talent a lot better.
Right, well, fingers crossed for that, because I truly believe that every Indian also is rooting for West Indies cricket. So, all the best for that. All right, well, with that, audience. Yes.
Coming back to the legendary series of Frank Warren Trophy, one of your favorites which I have mentioned. The Frank Warren Trophy, 1999. You went on to create some extraordinary records. You played two greatest innings, the 213, the second test, and the fourth one, the third test, I believe, 153, rated as one of the greatest innings by the Wisdom, rated number 2. But I personally feel, being one of your greatest fans, that 213 was the best innings ever. I want your personal view on that. Which two? Because 213 doesn't fall among the top 10 greatest innings. 153 does, but the kind of pressure it was there, I saw every ball you faced. After, unfortunately getting run out in the first test, in the first innings, and then after coming back with all the rigor. So among these two innings, which one is your favorite one? The 213 or the 153?
I think this guy knows my answer already. He must have read an article that had my answer on it, because the 215 is definitely not a better innings. It's definitely one that showed me the true mettle, the true personality that I had, the character that I had. And a lot of people wouldn't rate it because, they wouldn't understand what was going on inside of me. But walking out to bat in Jamaica, with the assumption that this is the last test match I'll be playing as a captain. We're playing the best team in the world, Australia. They just trashed us in Trinidad, bowling us out for 51. And just to let you know, on the first day, the score was 258 Australia. The West Indies were 36 for 4. And I went back to the hotel, and one of my friends who, a good supporter, he brought some Jamaican jerk chicken for me, and I was having dinner, and he said to me, you guys are going to go on to win this game. Well, Jamaica is known for the best marijuana. And I wanted to know how big was the spliff that he was smoking. To come with that idea that we're going to win this test match. And the next day, to produce such an innings under such pressure, the 215 quietly for me and for you will be, cherished for life.
The West Indies are known for their flamboyant style of playing cricket. And in the process, very often they got out very quickly. But you seem to have broken all batting records in terms of, individual batting scores are concerned. What's the secret of your success in occupying the crease so long?
Well, first of all, we were known for flamboyance in the 70s and the 60s with Sir Godfrey Sobers, in the 70s with Sir Vivian Richards and Gordon Greenwich, and of course in the 80s when we dominated world cricket. So I believe that the background of playing the long version of the game is where you build that foundation, you build a good technique, and then you evolve into an attacking player or a player with style. I think what's happening now is that there is no credibility given to the longer version of the game. Everybody wants to go out there and play the T20 version of the game. You don't need a great technique. As I said, it's a hit or miss. You can make, 4 or 5 scores under 10 and then come the next day and make 17, 25 goals and you're a superhero. So I think that's one of the reasons why now you see us struggling in Test cricket in the 50-over version of the game. The longer version of the game, the guys don't have the attrition level, they don't have the technique to do so. But it doesn't mean that we are in an abyss. I still believe that we have an opportunity to grab these youngsters and teach them how to bat, how to put together innings. And with the same flamboyance, not to lose their flamboyance, but how to go about putting together innings. And I believe a lot of the youngsters in the West Indies don't understand how to do so.
All right.
Hi, Brian. Here, Vijay Krishna. Here. Yeah, it's an honor to interact with you. You are talking about making West Indies cricket great again. My question is, you guys are having great talent like Jofra, Archer, and all. But how we are going to motivate them to stay with the West Indies cricket rather than going out to other countries or going to other sports?
Well, I think that's the job of the West Indies Cricket Board, to have scouts, to have people moving around the Caribbean, looking at the young talent that we have. I mean, any youngster, listen, I'm not going to give Jofra Archer or any other young cricketer that has taken that path. I think that playing for England or Robin Singh, who played for India from Trinidad and Tobago, if you have that opportunity and you have that sort of family connection to these bigger countries, why not do it? You know, I would definitely say yes. But our job is to keep the talent because it belongs to us. It's where we nurture it. And I don't think that we are doing so. I think a lot of your upbringing, a lot of your formative years, you're allowed to do it yourself. And we need to set up academies to keep an eye on the talent that we have. We don't have that structure as yet in the West Indies. So you're going to have guys with wonderful talent, that opportunity to go abroad, they do so, and you're seeing it with South Africa. The exodus to England and these other places. Now, the Netherlands is also another avenue for the South Africans. So for me, we have to do a better job as administrators.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So who do you think the current stream of young cricketers across all the countries, who do you think will go to become the greatest of all, like Brian, like Sachin, like Vivian Richards?
And this is from around the world or from India?
Around the world, anyone. You could pick anyone. Who do you think that quality you see and they become the greatest of great?
I think the Australians, any young Australians, they have the right upbringing and the competitive side. But when you're talking about natural ability, I think a young man like Shubman Gill has what it takes at age 22 to become one of the greats. Of course, there are a lot of different distractions now to what we had in the past, but I believe that he's got the ability to do so. Tilak Varma, I think, is also a very talented young player. But talent is one thing. You got, I don't know. I don't live in their minds. I want to see, how these guys are mentally. Pretty much a Virat Kohli is pretty much out there. He tells you what he has to do to be successful. You look at a lot of YouTube or Instagram posts, and he tells you what it took for him to be a success. Turning his back on negative things, be it health, be it whatever, to make sure that he gave himself the best opportunity. So any young player can have the world of talent. It takes a little bit more from them to be the best in the world.
Brian, I have a particular question. Brian, over here.
So you should also introduce yourself, just so that we don't have confusion.
This is Shubhan from ABP. My question is, if you were the captain of India team, what would have been the message to the boys after the match, the final match? If you were the captain of the Indian team, what would have been the message to the boys after the final match?
After
The India-Australia final match.
after the final match, obviously, you would have a group of disappointed young men. But I think very, very quickly to snap out of it. I think they did the country proud. I would express that the country would be proud. Maybe some people, some quarters would be disappointed that we did not win the trophy. But I think at the end of the day, only one team could. Try to take the positives out of it and move on. There would be a lot of young players in the team as well. The Ishan Kishans and Shubman Gill guys who are going to move on to the future. Make sure that they understand that this was just a learning opportunity for them to maybe lift the trophy the next time the tournament is taking place.
Thank you.
Lara, this is Dr. Chitranjan here from Mumbai. Lot of people are going to ask you about the cricket, your records, something like that. But I am going to ask you a personal question that how is your heart right now? How is your heart right now? Because I have read some of the news that you have some problem. you have admitted in Mumbai, cricket, a lot of activities going on. How you are feeling right now?
I feel very fine. Thank you for asking. Yeah, appreciate that.
All right, next.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I have one question that a lot of your contemporaries or friends, they stay in the cricket field, encompasses, either in country, that doing coaching job. Why you can't get to Shiv enough in today's day? What made you, stay out of the cricket? Why you don't take a golf club and make yourself not available in the cricket field?
He's asking that why don't we see you more often these days in the cricket space?
Okay. Well, I was with SRH, Sunrisers Hyderabad, for 2 seasons, 2022 and 23. I was with Fox, not Fox, I was with Star Sports for 3 seasons in the IPL before that, and presently I am the performance coach with the West Indies cricket board, not just the international team, but all levels. So I'm quite busy, and yeah, I hope that answers your question because I am involved, I feel, in a very important way.
Hi, Brian Samrat here, big fan. You spoke about a lot of batsmen. I want to ask you which bowler was the most challenging for you and how you prepared for him?
I think the number 1 bowler that I faced would have been Wasim Akram from Pakistan. I feel his deceptive pace and swing was always a difficult proposition for myself. Glenn McGrath got me up the most, but I felt that with McGrath, you had to make a mistake. And he was so patient that, you got into an area where you did make a mistake. But when it coming to someone who had the wit to get you out, someone who, could embarrass you even if you come out scoring 400 in a match, it would have been Wasim Akram. I thought he was extremely special as a fast bowler and one of my difficult proposition as a batter.
All right. Well, last 2, all right? Because according to me, if this clock was ticking for me, this time is done. So last 2 questions.
I think they have the right combination. I feel that a guy like Ravi Ashwin is with his experience is someone that would be tough to leave out of an Indian 11. But I think the team did very, very well, and I don't think we can sort of try now to be critical of anything. The only situation, as I said earlier on, was I would have been preparing my team, and I think Rahul Dravid would have been. I would have been preparing my team and looking at any weaknesses that were created in the victories that we had. I think one of the things that I would tell any young batter that I did a lot was whenever I was successful, I went back looking at videos to see where I made a step wrong, because that is where the opposition is going to come firing next time. And I know Rahul and I know Rohit would have been doing that. It's just that on the finals day, it was not India's day. But that's for me is sort of when you're very successful, keep picking. Be as self-critical as you could be to make sure that you stay a step ahead of the opposition. Australia was in a prime position to upset India after the World Cup that they've had. You would think that India was more prepared. No, Australia was more prepared. They were damaged a lot more, and they knew what they had to do to beat India.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. One last question, guys. All right, I see one hand up. Please go for it. I'm guessing this is a group of techies.
I think the DRS is first of all, neutral umpires was a very good move, and then with that possibility of human error, bring in a technology that was fair to both teams. I'm not saying that the technology is 100% right, but I think that it's fair to both teams when you have the opportunity to use the DRS to, get a result or get an opinion. In terms of the umpire's call, I think that if you have DRS, it should be relied on 100%. And I don't like when a ball hits the leg stump or just hits the outside of the leg stump and the umpire's call was not out on one occasion, and then the exact thing happened. The umpire's call was out, and one guy has to leave and the other guy can stay. So I think there's a little bit of problem there with the umpire's call and something that they should get rid of.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot for your questions. And there were some very critical questions that were asked, but on a very serious note, since we are in Kolkata, have you tried Mishti Doi?
No, I haven't.
So since you're in Kolkata and Brian Lara is asking what is Mishti Doi, all of you've got a task up your sleeves. You have to try it before you leave.
Okay.
If you're a foodie, you're going to love it. But thank you so much for that sweet note. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and